Hi everybody, I'm Dan Electro, and I will be your host for the GamePro Action Disc. We've got lots of cool stuff on here for you to check out, some sneak previews, some of our latest reviews, some game saves, cheat codes, pretty much the works. You're going to hear plenty from me before you're done, so let's just get started, huh? For Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, the series' first outing on PlayStation 2, developer Neversoft revisits the past, enhances the present, and leads console gamers ever closer to their inevitable online future. THPS3 offers 13 pro skaters, or players can create their own. The player creation has been vastly expanded this time, featuring both male and female player models, more skin tones, and nearly infinite clothing colors. And this time, some goals and objects will change in the game based on which skater you choose. The gameplay feels familiar yet fresh. It's rewarding to apply all your existing Tony skills, but there are enough new techniques that it's not the same old grind. The levels are far more dense and interactive, complete with pedestrians and moving traffic. Plus, some goals are puzzles that you'll have to figure out on your own, like how to trigger an earthquake in Los Angeles. These require a bit of creative thinking and exploration, but they're especially rewarding as a result. Even more rewarding is the online gameplay. Internet-impaired gamers can still enjoy two-player split-screen contests, but those who spring for Sony's PS2 network adapter can jump online for furious four-player action. Of course, with more players comes more chaos. If two skaters collide, the faster one wins the joust, and the other one leaves a blood smear. 4 online game modes make the action even more addictive, but if you're not wired yet, don't worry. The game will be ready when you are. The single-player career mode is entirely satisfying on its own. At 60 frames per second, the game's high-polygon models look gorgeous, and the new bales look more painful than ever. A soundtrack full of varied artists from Alien Ant Farm to Del the Funky Homo Sapien thumps along in a balanced, energetic mix of hip-hop and rock. The game also features precise control, and for new players, there's an interactive tutorial to help you learn the ropes. And then there's the hidden stuff. Neversoft promises roughly 3 times the secrets of the last game, including more bonus levels and many more hidden characters. Good luck finding them all. It's amazing that a game this ambitious came together in 9 short months. Neversoft and Activision have worked hard to make it look easy, delivering the third Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and that first bold step into online PS2 gaming with a sort of casual brilliance. Did you really expect anything less? Excellent Siphon Filter 3 shows that there's plenty of love left for PlayStation gamers, as Sony's latest black bag operation preserves the series' now familiar style and quality. While Siphon 3 offers little innovation, it also offers little reason to complain. The setup is as familiar as the gripping excitement of playing Commando once again. Siphon Filter 3 finds Gabe and Leon facing congressional hearings on the Siphon Filter virus. As they recount their missions that preceded the first Siphon game, you play through them, building toward a big current-day surprise at the end. This flashback approach makes the plot feel a little strained, but at least they didn't stoop to having Gabe wake up and learn it was all a dream. More importantly, the gameplay still delivers thrilling combat that's focused less on stealth and much more on action. Sneaking still has its rewards, but if you develop some decent twitchy aim, you can charge full tilt through the skirmishes. Occasional scripted events change your objectives on the fly, injecting an organic, more realistic feel, though an element of die until you memorize the patterns still remains. Fortunately, you can save at checkpoints, which minimizes the tiresomeness of replaying levels. Siphon 3's only big new feature is the minigames that complement the two-player split-screen deathmatches, but their Mario Party-like approach feels pretty hollow, and they're definitely not as interesting as the one-player missions. Siphon's superb controls return to make the game a blast to play. Gabe and Leon pack some cool new weapons, maneuver as elegantly as always, and deal plenty of lead with the excellent targeting systems. And given the capabilities of the aging PlayStation, top-notch graphics and sound, both on par with Siphon 2's, help make the action exciting and appealing. Siphon 3 is really more of an add-on level pack than a whole new game, which is hardly a bad thing. Pros will comfortably stride right into the fray, while newbies should start with Siphon 1 to avoid being lost. Either way, Siphon Filter 3 is a riveting mission that no self-respecting commando wannabe should skip. When you're at the top of your game, you can afford to concentrate on the details. Madden NFL 2002 maintains its All-Pro rep as it heads into its second season on the PlayStation 2. This year, the team selection is absolutely ludicrous. Of course, you get all 31 NFL teams, plus a peek at the new Houston Texans, plus 126 all-time teams spanning 5 decades, plus 31 franchise all-star teams, and an NFL Europe alumni team for good measure. If you still don't see what you want, this year you can use the easy Create a Team mode to build your own. Madden's graphics are on the money. Everything looks sharp and silky smooth with animation that's so real it's eerie. The player faces have been improved, and the cinematic replays are more frequent, which is either good or bad depending on your preference. The sounds score extra points too. This year the crowd is more wild than ever, plus John Madden and Pat Summerall don't seem to repeat themselves as much as in the past. The precise, dependable controls keep you competitive, and the kicking interface has been changed to a 3-button press technique that adds welcome challenge. But the real highlight for Madden fans is the buffed-out AI. On defense, the game reacts more quickly than ever to your offensive tendencies. To help you tackle the cunning AI, John Madden coaches you through the basics of several different formations in training mode. Additionally, the fun new 2-minute drill quick game enables you to practice your offense under realistic game conditions. Madden football is on a roll, and even in the face of future competition from the likes of Sony and Sega, it continues to set the standard for PlayStation 2 football fare. It's yet another great season for Madden in 2002. The father of all fighting games makes an impressive debut on the Game Boy Advance with Super Street Fighter II Turbo Revival. Beautiful graphics, incredibly fast gameplay, and plenty of single-player action make this the ultimate portable fighter. Choosing from over 16 of the old-school Street Fighter cast, no Street Fighter III or Street Fighter Alpha characters here, you'll battle in the classic one-on-one style with 3 turbo speeds and the infamous beat-up-the-car and barrel-busting mini-games in between. You can also unlock several cool single-player modes like Survival, Timed Attack, Beat the Bosses, and Fight Akuma. But this game is really best when you're battling another player over the link cable. The 2D sprites are smoothly animated and the backgrounds are awesomely detailed, as the Game Boy Advance's widescreen is filled to the edges with frantic action. Controls are dead on, with a simple 4-button setup, and the Game Boy Advance is reminiscent of the old Super NES controller. Hopefully the Game Boy's shoulder buttons are going to hold out in the long run. Large-handed gamers, however, may find that their fighting endurance is severely shortened by the minute size of the GBA, namely because of hand cramp. The soundtrack is standard Street Fighter fare and features the classic music for each character, but some sounds are a little distorted, while some other small bits are missing from the original. But that's small stuff. Super Street Fighter II Turbo Revival is so good that it'll easily make die-hard pocket fighters forget all about the great genre titles on the short-lived Neo Geo Pocket Color. This game brings you back to a time when Street Fighter was the unrivaled king of the fighting genre, and now the series will definitely reign again on the Game Boy Advance. Sometimes accidents happen, and on occasion they're happy. Devil May Cry is one such happy accident. It began as the first Resident Evil title for the PlayStation 2 before evolving into a game in its own right. But Devil May Cry is anything but an offshoot of the RE series. This unique game has style, technique, and beautiful looks to match. Simply put, it's fantastic. Devil May Cry is a 3D supernatural action-adventure that follows Dante, a devil hunter for hire who peels off better one-liners than Duke Nukem and handles twin pistols with more finesse than Lara Croft. Dante's on the trail of a demon responsible for the deaths of his mother and brother. However, Devil's skeletal story is quickly forgotten once the action kicks in. The gameplay is really little more than a series of boss battles strung together. The game's true hook is the variety of moves, techniques, and spontaneous combos at Dante's disposal. Simultaneously armed with a sword and a firearm, Dante can swat enemies into the air and juggle them with hot lead or sword swipes, go hand-to-hand with punch-kick combos, or transform into a demon and unleash a brain-frying electrical storm. But Devil isn't entirely consumed by fighting in showers of lead. You'll also navigate confusing mazes, solve puzzles, and perform precision platform hopping. The game maintains a fast pace that makes similar genre offerings, like Onimusha, seem snail-paced by comparison. A treasure trove of secret missions and hidden areas, too numerous to discover in a single playing, add excellent replay value. And Devil's got atmosphere to spare. The game's gothic castle environments feature beautiful ambient effects such as shadow, smoke, fire, and fog. An army of detailed monsters inhabits the world, and none are more impressive than the bosses, which vary in size from blade-toting marionettes to screen-filling griffins. With all these monsters to banish, you can bet buckets of blood are going to be shed too, especially by the bosses, who meet their ends in a variety of nasty ways. The soundtrack delivers a constant barrage of fright-inducing tortured screams and jarring bursts of gunfire, punctuated by the squish of enemies being hacked or blasted apart. Despite Dante's daunting number of attacks, straightforward controls keep the slashing, shooting, and transforming manageable. Devil raises the action-adventure bar on PS2. Technique is king and the challenge level is high. The Devil May Cry, but gamers will weep if they pass up on this one. Final Fantasy X has already been released in Japan, and from the looks of the import, the game is going to deliver on all of its preview promises when it hits America. Part 10 features some notable innovations over previous FF titles, including a unique combat system. Each character who joins your party can be cycled in during a battle through a tag team system. Heavy damage overdrive attacks, like the Limit Break, have also been refined, as you can build up your meter by executing attacks or just taking damage during battle. Once your overdrive meter has been maxed out, you can unleash the attack by inputting a complex button sequence in a limited amount of time. The other notable new aspect is the game's various summons. These powerhouse monsters are similar to Guardian Forces in FF8, but remain on screen once they're called into action and have their own set of attacks, including overdrive moves. In addition to various battles, players may engage in extra activities like Blitzball, a turn-based, underwater variation of soccer, which comes complete with a detailed tutorial. Another minigame is collecting translations of the alphabetic letters of the Al-Bed language, which you can then use to decipher various conversations you'll have throughout the game. Rounding out the minigames is chocobo riding. At several points throughout FF10, you'll find chocobo feathers that designate hidden areas that can be reached only if you're riding a chocobo. Of course, different chocobos possess different skills, such as rock climbing, so you may have to find one with the proper ability before you get to explore. Fortunately, rock-solid controls make navigating the various menus of the import version easy and intuitive. As for the sights and sounds, they easily meet the PS2 hype. Characters feature smooth animations and high-res textures, and battles come to life with a range of fancy visual effects. The sounds are also dead-on, especially the character voiceovers. Right now, English dialogue is being dubbed in for the game's domestic release, but judging from the Japanese version, Final Fantasy X looks like it can easily be called the best RPG for the PS2 to date, and there's no reason that verdict should change when the game hits the US in February. Move over, Mario. Your brother wants some of that spotlight. In his first starring role since Mario was missing, Luigi, you know, the thinner plumber in the green overalls, finally catches a break. He wins a spooky old mansion in a contest, and everybody says the house is haunted, so brave Mario goes to check it out on Luigi's behalf. But when his brother doesn't return, it's up to Luigi to face the otherworldly occupants himself and show them whose house it really is. Armed with little more than a flashlight and a fancy vacuum cleaner, Luigi must explore the rooms of the mansion while pesky poltergeists do their best to scare the stuffing out of him. The more ghosts he captures with his machine, the more coins he earns. Despite the simplistic setup, Luigi's Mansion's complex control scheme and breathtaking visuals should keep gamers riveted. Players will use both analog sticks on the GameCube controller. One moves Luigi's legs and the other rotates his torso, so he can walk in one direction and battle ghosts in another. That's definitely cool, but it'll take a little time to learn. Special effects like Luigi's translucent flashlight beam and his misty breath when entering a cold room will give gamers their first taste of GameCube's graphical prowess. When Nintendo's own star game designer Shigeru Miyamoto demoed the game at this year's Electronic Entertainment Expo, the crowd went nuts. Expectations for Luigi's Mansion are understandably high, as it's Nintendo's most prominent first-party title for the GameCube launch. Will it be a poor man's Ghostbusters or a frightfully fun adventure? Find out for yourself. Open the door to Luigi's Mansion in November. What do hyper-violent cartoon characters do when they're not working? Why, they enjoy some hyper-violent leisure activities, of course. Cel Damage is what happens off-screen when 6 unique animated stars have some time to kill between takes at their studio. Jumping into cars outfitted with wacky weapons like giant axes, shrinking rays, enormous saw blades, portable black holes, huge baseball bats, sledgehammers, and spring-loaded boxing gloves, these guys tear into each other in ways only cartoons can. In an early playable version, the animated, cel-shaded look of the cars, characters, and surroundings was bright and striking. Combat takes place in deserts, jungles, graveyards, and in outer space, and the vehicles deform in real time, reacting to the cartoon rules of physics. The voiceovers for the characters are already in place, and they sound appropriately funny. Hey, they better, they're cartoons. Control might take a little getting used to for newbies, but Twisted Metal vets will have it down in no time. The all-violence, no-bloodshed gameplay was refreshing, too. For instance, the giant axe cleaves enemy cars completely in half, but then they spring back again in seconds, ready for action and none the worse for wear. Cel Damage will probably really shine as a multiplayer game. Up to 4 players will be able to duke it out in split-screen games of Flag Rally and Smack Attack, racing through checkpoints, collecting moving target flags, and just plain laying the loony smackdown on each other with wild abandon. Car combat is going to get a whole lot sillier when the Xbox comes out in November. Cel Damage should be out just around the machine's launch. Ever wish you could play your favorite games without any boundaries? Ever wondered how your friend breaks through to the highest levels of every game or beats your scores with ease while you sit there struggling? Well, he probably didn't want you to know about his secret weapon, GameShark. It's like this. Within the millions of lines of code that make up your favorite video games, there exist variables and vulnerabilities. With the ability to manipulate those variables, you have ultimate power over anything and everything in the game. GameShark tweaks some of the programming code here, alters a few ones and zeros there, and bam! Suddenly, the whole game is tilted in your favor. Infinite health, infinite lives, all weapons, all items, all characters. You go anywhere, you do anything, and you win at everything. That's the power that GameShark gives you. The GameShark Video Game Enhancer is available in stores now. Constant code updates at GameShark.com assure that you will always have the power to beat the game. We wanted to give you a taste of the GameShark's ultimate power here. Once you see exactly how GameShark can change your gaming experience for these titles, just imagine what it can do for the rest of your games. What are you waiting for? Go try out some of the sample codes. Go! Go!
For PlayStation 2 gamers, the power of GameShark 2 has remained unequaled, until now. PS2 game enhancement just got a lot more intense. With GameShark 2, you get the same unparalleled quality and code support with loads of new features. With GameShark 2, you get thousands of PS2 codes with the storage capacity for thousands more, so it's never out of date. You also get a bonus CD packed with over 12,000 codes for PlayStation 1 games. GameShark 2 version 2 also offers a sophisticated memory card manager designed to give you full control of your PS2 game save, allowing you to copy, transfer, save and delete multiple files, compress PS2 game saves to free up more space on your memory card, and even archive game saves to a USB zip drive. You'll take notice of the improved user interface with new graphics and sound. The new improved on-screen keyboard makes entering new codes a snap. GameShark also offers support for a new range of add-ons to help you get the most out of your PS2 gaming. GameShark 2 puts the power in your hands to completely dominate every game you play. Just choose your game from GameShark 2's on-screen menu, select the codes you need, then load up your game and take control of the action. Infinite health, unlimited ammo, extra vehicles, secret characters, and much more are all yours for the taking. Our GameShark code hackers are constantly working to bring you new codes for the latest PS2 games as soon as they're released. Visit www.gameshark.com, the only official source for GameShark codes, plus game reviews, strategy, and every other resource you need as a gamer. Or you can call the GameShark hotline for codes, 1-900-773-7427 in the United States, or 1-900-677-4242 in Canada. Lines are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We also publish a bi-monthly GameShark magazine, where you'll find the biggest selection of GameShark 2 codes in print, along with editorial content, game reviews, and more. You can pick up a GameShark 2 and all of these fine GameShark accessories at your local video game retailer, or order online from www.gameshark.com.